Good evening, everybody. I'd like to call this meeting July 13th of 2022. Welcome. I need a roll call, please, Mr. Ryan.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Henry?
Here.
Mr. Llewellyn?
Here.
Mrs. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Mundy?
Here.
If I can get you all to stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Pledge of Allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everybody. To my far left is Nathan Mundy, board member. To his right, Don Henry, board member. To his right, my left, Dr. Endrigan Townsend, our superintendent. My name is Joe Cox. I'm the current board president. To my right is Leslie Miller, the current vice president. To her right is John Llewellyn, board member. And at the end down there, we've got Glenn Sloan, our treasurer. Out in the audience tonight, we've got Mr. Haig, and the rest of our administration staff from the main office is on vacation. And welcome to our new members, our new administration staff. Those will be introduced later today. All right. It is recommended that the agenda for July 13th, 2022 meeting be adopted as presented. I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second. I have an addendum tonight.
Okay.
We need to add item number 24. It's a discussion item, so no action will be taken. It's a change in the policy we keep working on that's not had a number for a while, so I finally have a number and it should be the final change.
Mr. Sloan?
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Henry?
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Item number 6, it is recommended that the minutes of our regular meeting held on June 8th, 2022 be approved as submitted. I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved. Second.
And roll call, please.
Mr. Henry?
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes. All right, item number 7, we have no comments from our public relating to our agenda items. Item number 8, our student rep report.
Thank you. Maddie is our student rep for 22-23 school year. She'll be joining us in August. Gave her July off because, you know, it's the middle of summer. I don't expect her to show up, so she hasn't yet. I do want to take a second, though, to just share some really exciting news. Back in April, as you guys may remember, we have 2 student reps who have now graduated that participated in a roundtable discussion with some Centerville student reps. Student rep from Northmont was there as well. And we had some state Board of Education members there, a couple of legislators there. And the topic we talked about was student reps being part of the state Board of Education. That's something that has been introduced to in the Ohio legislature. So some of our students wanted to speak to that. And I'm bringing this up because for school board members, we receive a journal on a quarterly basis. And we knew there would be a story in the journal about this exercise in April, but we did not expect the students to be on the cover of it. So to our surprise, Leslie's holding up here the cover of what was mailed to us a couple weeks ago. These are the 8 students who were involved in that discussion. Our kids, McKenna, they're not, I guess not kids anymore, they graduated, but McKenna and Shabri are in the back. As you're looking at that, they would be on the left side. On the back row of those 8 students. So we're just really excited. The story is just a really good piece. It's a pretty long piece too, that talks about the event and how it went. It was really, really exciting to be part of this. And hopefully this roundtable still exists, so hopefully we'll just continue to see good things come from it. But to see them on the cover, I knew the story was going to be good because it was sent to me ahead of time, but he didn't tell me about the cover. So I didn't see that till I opened my mailbox and just about had to look twice. But wanted to just share that. And we also had, once I knew that this happened, I asked the person who did the story and sent put this on the cover to send us some copies. So I do have copies for the students both in our district and the other districts in case these kids want to keep this, because it's pretty cool to be on the cover of a statewide publication like that. So that's all I got.
John, can you fill in our new staff members on what exactly that is? What
Sure.
we've got going on here?
About 3 years ago now, we started a program to invite students to be part of our board. They don't vote or anything, but we do select on a yearly basis students to represent basically their classmates at the high school to be part of our board meeting. So every agenda that we have, item number 8 is student representative report. So Maddie will be here going forward to discuss issues that she feels she needs to share with us or share her opinion about something we might ask her. And so Centerville, Northmont, and Valley View are 3 districts in our community that also do this. So not only do we have students here that we rely on to help us, but these other districts do too. And we basically collaborated 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago now, to see if we could make a bigger impact statewide or at least regionally than just in our own districts. So that's kind of what this is about. And Madeline McClune is our student rep for the 22-23 year. Potentially we have one other student rep that's been part of our group as well, but she's not sure if she'll be joining us or not. She's invited to. She'll be a senior, so a lot going on with her. Her name is Sarah Sarai. But that's in a nutshell what this is about.
These students also have to apply, write an essay, and then be interviewed. And anybody in the high school, basically so far, anybody in the high school has been, is allowed to apply for that position or positions depending on what we look like. They're also kind of the liaisons between us and the student body. If we've got questions or they've got questions, they can step in, help us out, get the word out, and then get us some information back. So it's worked out really well. And of course you can see by the journal that it's making an impact at the state level, so it's good stuff.
John and I meet with them periodically and just kind of brainstorm and get their opinions, and if they have questions and different things that we can share. And we usually do it prior to a board meeting so that we know what they're going to share, or if they have questions of us regarding anything on the agenda, because we send them agendas ahead of time so they know what's going on. We were just really excited because we get to do a class at OSBA this year on Tuesday morning. And we're going to be joined by some of our cohorts in crime from Centerville and Northmont. And so it's really an exciting thing. John spearheaded the whole thing. I've kind of gone along on the ride for this, but it's been fun working with the kids. They're a great group. And I'm sure that they have replaced some of theirs as well as we have. So it'll be fun to meet all the new members.
Thank you very much. On to item number 9, our communications update with Ms. Janine.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Since it's so hot, I'm going to try and make this very quick. First off, I just wanted to remind everyone you can connect to westcarrolltonschools.com and Facebook at West Carrollton City Schools, Twitter at WC City Schools. That way you can stay in touch with us. We are still updating our Facebook page throughout the summer, and just some different stories, things that you don't normally get to see, such as bus cleaning. These are things that happen during the summer. Everybody always wants to know, what do you do all summer? Well, it's a very busy time. Buses are cleaned thoroughly inside and out. We have a bus driver. He's power washing the bus. They also go through the interiors. If there's any tears, anything that needs fixed, they do that. Cleaning is happening, of course, in our schools with the custodians. And I caught a picture of Judy Brooks the other morning. This is her volunteer time, really, but it's the Pirate Patch Garden, and it is doing well again this year, and all the produce this year is going to the West Carrollton Food Pantry. So she's pretty excited about that. And Dr. Townsend and I attended a meeting. Now, actually, she got invited, and I crashed the party, because that's how I am. But Moraine Police Department sent out an invitation for businesses and schools, come join this meeting. And one of the things discussed was National Night Out. National Night Out is when the police, they sometimes just go through neighborhoods or they have an event, something to form relationships with the community. And we were very excited. They invited us to join them August 2nd. I hear it's a really big event and there is going to be a slippy slide. Yes, we'll just leave it at that. And we were assured that you will leave with a smile and you will be wet. So we are going to be there with a table. We'll have information for parents about back to school information, all the dates for that first month, August, all the back to school dates. And we're also going to have some giveaways for the kids. And you can stop by and we will let you know what your pirate name is. Just so you know. And the first day of school is August 24th. Of course, we are opening the doors to the Early Childhood Center and the intermediate school this year. Very excited about that. And of course, we just discovered that the OFCC, did I say that right? Okay, OFCC, there's so many initials. They have just approved us the funding for their portion. Of course, we knew it was coming, but it was just a matter of when they passed that budget. So now we are transitioning right into phase 2 of the plan that was made. So that will be the construction of a school that will house grades 2 through 4, will be built adjacent to our Early Childhood Center, as well as a 7th through 12th grade campus that will be built on high school property. So we are very excited. And just wanted to remind everybody that principals are going to start sending you texts and emails, phone calls. That communication will start normally right around August 1. So that way you can check bus routes, you can check supply lists, all those different things that everybody wants to know at this time of year. Some of the supply lists, I believe, are already on our website, wcarrolltonschools.com. I do also want to comment that we've had some phone issues off and on. So if you call, please be patient. Sometimes I know I have called and it's a busy signal, but we are working on it. We're addressing it. We're getting everything upgraded this summer, so it will all be better when school starts. And that is all I have this evening.
Great, thank you. I'd like to recommend that the board accept the ratification to grant an administrative contract to the following administrators for the period of time indicated. And I have 4 individuals on there who I'm going to put on the spot in a minute as well.
I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Sloan?
Mr. Llewellyn,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Henry.
Yes.
Welcome, it's official. So I'm going to start with Dr. Woods. She's going to be our intermediate principal. Dr. Woods, if you don't mind just standing up, saying hello, tell us just a little bit about yourself. You have a very unique background, which I love.
Good evening, board members, Mr. President.
If you could come down.
Yeah, won't you step down here where we can
Come
hear
down
you?
the
Yep,
podium.
thank you.
Most people tell me I have a big mouth.
I'm not going to tell you that.
Good
Some of us just
evening.
can't hear very well.
It is a pleasure to be joining the West Carrollton family. I come with 21 plus years of educational experience. Prior to that, I know this is what Dr. Townsend wanted to hear. I served 12 years with the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office and 3 years with Middletown PD. So I told Dr. Townsend and the others, I think it was my time in the community as a police officer that helped prepare me to really be able to form relationships with our families and with our students as I've come into education. And so I'm just thrilled and excited to be part of West Carrollton and to be able to dig in and be able to help transform these children's lives for their future. Thank
You
you.
get a brand new building.
Yes, a brand new building.
Brand new building. That's
Sounds good.
exciting. Well, welcome.
Yes, welcome.
And next I have Sheila Calco. She is our intermediate assistant principal. And come on up, nobody's off the hook tonight.
shorter. Thank you. I'm excited to join and be a pirate. And I'm very excited to be in the new building and to help this community transition with the new grade banding. I think it's going to be a great opportunity to strengthen the community and the bonds with the students and their families, and everybody I think are going to be excited about it, and glad to join with this new team as well. So thank you for the opportunity, and I look forward to getting to know you all in the community as well.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you, welcome.
And Sheila comes from us from Dayton Public. Shannon, she's going to be our new high school assistant principal. Come on down.
Good evening. My name is Shannon Page, and like Dr. Townsend said, I will be at the high school as an assistant principal. I've been in education for about 15 years or so. I've spent the last 4 years as an assistant principal in Dayton Public Schools. I've also worked in central office administrative positions and have been a math specialist for a district as well. So I have quite a range of experience.
Nice.
This will be my first year in a high school, so I'm excited to kind of learn all of those things that come with graduation and helping students to be college and career ready. So thank you very much.
Welcome.
Welcome.
And last, hiding in the corner, but not least, Todd. Todd and I have gotten to know each other well over the past few weeks. So Todd is our new technology supervisor. Welcome.
I'm extremely excited to be here. Thank you all. I have been in the IT realm for, I'd say, around going on 6 years. I've studied out at Wright State. That's where I got my undergrad at, and I went to University of Cincinnati and got my graduate degree there in information technology. I've actually worked with Dr. Woods for every school year that I've opened. I've worked with Dr. Woods, so this is it's special. It really is special to me. So she's a fine woman. I'm happy to have her on board, and even more so, I'm happy to be on board. There's a lot that we can get done for West Carrollton and the community here at the school, starting with the Wi-Fi. But we're going to get that all lined out, straightened out, and taken care of. So I'd like to thank you all once again. Extremely happy to be here. I look forward to kind of speaking with all of you and getting to know all of you as my years pass here. So thanks for having me.
Welcome.
Great.
Welcome.
Thank you,
you.
welcome.
I'm so happy to have you all here.
Item number 11.
Item number 11.
Moving on.
I'd like to recommend that the board accept the ratification for the following administrators. These are for bridge contracts for all the lovely folks you just met.
Okay, I need a motion and a second, please.
I motion.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mrs. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn,
Yes.
Mr. Mundy.
Yes.
So what these do, just a real quick comment, is this allows my folks to come in during the summer in the month of July, get their feet underneath them, and get in the building. So I like to, especially for administrators, and then administrators being brand new as a team, I think it's important. So thank you for supporting that.
Okay, item number 12. Dr. Townsend.
Gosh, I'm busy tonight. The superintendent, well, I recommend that the board place the following administrative personnel in the following positions and at the following steps effective August 1st, 2022.
I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller.
Yes.
Can I comment on this one?
Comments? Yep.
Okay, quick comment. So Mr. Iser, who has been our assistant principal at the high school for four-ish years, maybe 5, he is going to take over a lot of that college career stuff that Dr. Myers was going to work on this year. We feel it's very important. So he'll be working with local schools. He'll be part of the Business Advisory Council with me. He will set up college nights, he will set up career nights, internships, things that we've talked about as a group up here that we feel will benefit our high school students. So I've asked Mr. Iser to really focus on that this year and get a really strong program going. So I'm looking forward. He has jumped in with both feet. He and I have had a lot of conversations, and I'm really excited to see what he's going to do. So I had to remove a little bit off of his plate. So that's about it.
Okay, moving on to item number 13, Mr. Haig, who is speaking in place of Mr. Berry this evening.
I have the short straw this evening. I'm the one who showed up.
And you have a lot.
Yes, you do.
Okay, item 13, the superintendent recommends that the board approve the following personnel items. Item A is to accept the ratification of the resignation of the 6 individuals listed on the agenda. Item B is to conditionally grant a limited teaching contract to the 9 individuals listed for the 22-23 school year, pending approval by the Bureau of Criminal Identification and Investigation and consensual drug screening as required by Ohio Revised Code 3319.291, the policies of the West Carrollton School District. Item C is to hire the 2 individuals on a salary notice for the 22-23 school year. Item D is to amend the salaries of the 3 individuals for the 22-23 school year. Item E is to approve the 2 individuals as a 2022 summer school teachers. Item F is to conditionally employ the following substitute teacher, speech pathologist, school nurse, or home instructor / principal for the 22-23 school year, pending approval by the Bureau of Criminal Identification and Investigation and consensual drug screening, as required by Ohio Revised Code 3319.291 and the policies of the West Carrollton School District. We had 1 individual listed there. And item G is to grant a leave of absence to 1 individual in accordance with the provisions of the Family Medical Leave Act.
I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
And roll call, sir.
Mr. Cox,
Abstain?
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Item number 14.
Okay, thank you. The superintendent recommends that the board approve the following personnel items. Item A is to approve payment to the listed individuals for services rendered during the 2022 school musical. Item B is to grant a supplemental pupil activity contract to the 1 individual listed for the 22-23 school year. And item C is to approve the following individual as a volunteer for the 2022-2023 school year.
I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
And roll call, Mr. Sloan.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller,
Abstain.
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Mr. Cox.
Yes. Item number 15.
Okay, item 15, the superintendent recommends that the board approve the following personnel items. Accept the resignation of 1 individual for retirement purposes. Accept the resignation for the following individual, 1 individual, again, for resignation. Accept the promotion of the 2 individuals listed. And item D is to grant a leave of absence to the following individual in accordance with the provisions of the Family Medical Leave Act.
I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
And roll call.
Mr. Llewellyn,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Item number 16, Dr. Townsend.
Thank you. I'd like to ask the board to approve the quotation for, that's what she has, quotation, for speech services from Warren County Educational Service Center for 22-23 school year as presented.
I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
And roll call, Mr. Sloan.
Mrs. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn,
Here. Yes. I'm still here, though, by the way.
The heat has gotten to you.
We're pushing a little fast because it is warm in here. It's
Very
finally
warm
starting to
in
cool
here.
down a little bit. Item number 17, please. That would be Dr. Townsend again.
Thank you. I'd like you to approve the revised 2022-2023 West Carrollton School District org chart as presented.
Need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second?
And roll call?
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Henry?
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Comments?
Just with Dr. Myers leaving, I just rearranged a few folks.
Okay. Item number 18, back to Mr. Haig.
The superintendent recommends that the board approve as presented the amendment to the March 18th, 2020 agreement with Garmin Miller and Associates.
I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
And roll call?
Mr. Henry?
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Just for a little clarification, there's no, even though there's an amendment to it, there's really no increase in funds to the Garmin Miller contract. It's just rewording on how funds were distributed based off of what they had down as reimbursable expenses. And this picks up the cost of us becoming LEED certified for our new schools. So.
Great, thank you. Item number 19 goes to you, Mr. Sloan.
Thank you. I ask that the board approve the following donations: $400 from Russell PTO, $1,823.21 from Schnell PTO, and $300 from Ronald Maurer to the robotics program.
I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
And roll call?
Mr. Henry?
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
And Mr. Cox?
Yes. Item number 20 remains with you, Mr. Ryan.
Thank you. I ask that the board approve as presented the financial reports for June 2022.
I need a motion and a second, please.
I motion.
Second.
And roll call, please.
Mr. Llewellyn?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Henry?
Yes.
Okay. Item number 21, Dr. Townsend.
Thank you. I need a motion and a second that the West Carrollton Board of Education approve as presented the revised memorandum of understanding between the City of West Carrollton and the Board of Education of the West Carrollton School District regarding the school resource SRO program.
I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second?
And roll call, please.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Henry?
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn?
Yes.
Comments?
Just real quick comment. The city manager wanted some different verbiage in there after we had approved it, and they had approved it. So they called me and asked if they could change it, and we agreed, and here it is for hopefully the last time.
I wanted to ask you a question and make sure that I understand. We actually have, I know this particular resolution relates to the officer we have,
Correct.
and we also have a second SRO in the high school that's not a police officer, at least not with City of West Carrollton, right?
Correct.
So my question had to do with, I was reading the details of our responsibility in the document that we had to look at ahead of time, and it mentioned in there that on occasion the SRO might need to take a student home. Maybe a student gets suspended or in trouble somehow and their parent can't or won't come and get them, or guardian won't come and get them. Do you know of that ever happening where our SRO actually took a student home? You may not know of it if it did happen, but
I can't recall of any time. Usually if they're leaving the building, it's not with our SRO.
the reason I bring it up is I think if it ever needed to happen, I'm sure it'd be very rare, but if it ever needed to happen, the fact we now have a second person in there just kind of bodes to the importance of needing that second person. Because if we did have an issue like that and something happened while she was transporting a student home, we have somebody else that can step in and help. So that's why I brought it up, because I thought it was a good reason to have a second one in there. And I know we have an SRO in the middle school as well still, right?
Mr. Tuttle,
So
yep.
we have 3 SROs in our school district thus far. There may be some discussion perhaps about that as well in the future. But right now we have 3, and I appreciate the answers. Thank you.
So next month, the 3 of us are going to go to Moraine, and I've actually talked to the police chief already about getting an SRO at our 5-6 building, because they're the only ones that are not in the West Carrollton precinct.
Okay.
And I have to be honest with you, he was more than happy to accommodate us, and he said he was so excited about us wanting them to be there. So
All right. Well, that's good news too.
that's fantastic news, because it is our only building in Moraine. So
Right.
the fact that they have the staff, and he even said, we haven't had one there since 2008. And I think they were probably helping us more with traffic at that point in time. But he said he does have the ability to have a full-time person there. So it's just a matter of getting them to approve it.
Great.
And then hopefully I'll come back with another contract, not for West Carrollton, and we can get that one put through too.
All right.
So,
Look forward to that.
Great news.
me too.
Alrighty. Moving on to 22.
22.
That's also you, Dr. Townsend.
I need a motion and a second that the board approve as presented the following resolution, adopting a Calamity Day alternative makeup plan.
Need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
And roll call, please.
Mr. Mundy,
Yes.
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller.
Yes.
Quick comment, yep. So this is related to blizzard bags, which we adopt this every year. Blizzard bags will be going away in legislation, we've been told in 2024. So this gives us 3 additional days if we were to close for school. And this is very important for our seniors who are very close in the required hours, that they have an alternative assignment or can get on, they either go home with something or sign something where those days count as being in attendance. So it helps us buffer those days, and it's mostly for our seniors, like I said.
Okay. Item number 23, Dr. Townsend.
I need a motion and a second that the West Carrollton Board of Education waive the requirement for middle school career tech ed, CTE, for the 22-23 school year due to teacher licensure. We currently offer our students career connections and finance at the middle school grades, which meets the hour requirements for middle school students. This course would be related to the business CTE program at the high school if the teacher had a CTE license. Due to the lack of licensure, we are unable to code the courses for CTE funding and relate it to our high school program. This is also a yearly, but I also have some good news about this.
I need a motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
And a roll call, please. Mr. Sloan?
Mr. Cox,
Yes.
Mr. Henry,
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Mundy.
Yes.
And comments?
I do. So the good news is, as you know, with the new buildings and going to grade bands, we have looked at expanding our programs, which include Project Lead the Way, which is STEM-based. My teacher at the 7-8 building wants to get CTE certified, which would then complete our program through 7-12. I also have another high school teacher who wants to get their career tech certification, which will increase funding as well. So it's good that the teachers are getting on board with the changes that we want to make for our students with programming. And well, this is required for me to do if I don't have a certified teacher each year, and we do this every year. Hopefully this will be the last year I have to do this.
If they get certified, will we have to amend this?
We won't have to amend it. We just have to do it once a year. So the certification, it actually would go into effect for next school year.
Okay.
So I'll have some paperwork and approval to do for that. And then number 24 is me.
Great. On to item number 24, Dr. Townsend.
All right, it's a discussion item. The discussion topic will be discussed by the Board of Education. The public is invited to observe this discussion. Generally, the board will take no formal action on the discussion topic. However, in the instances where the board may choose to act, such notice will be given during the introduction of the discussion topic. So this is our first read for policy. This was the unknown 4,000 policy we've had for a few times. It's now policy 4120.14, and the policy is related to our confidential, unclassified secretarial and support staff. And as we've had a heavy hiring season this year, we have had some issues with folks not wanting to take positions, and this isn't just now, but this has kind of happened over the past few hirings due to the lack of the ability of earning vacation until 1 year. So Ryan, Devin, and I and Jack have been talking about this, and we want everyone to still get the days that are in the policy, but we would like them to accrue them in the first 6 years of service. So after 1 month of service, they would earn 0.83 days per month.
Any questions?
And I have to tell you, for the few new folks that we're hiring, that made them very, very happy.
My question would be, I understand the accrual part, but when can they utilize them? Do they have to wait 30 days, 90 days? Is there any kind of
30
probation?
days, they won't even have any for the first 30 days. So they have to work 1 full month, but they get their 3 personal days as soon as they start. So
Right.
regardless, they have those. So usually, this is very few people that this affects, and we usually give approval for them to take those days off anyhow. So they're not ones that abuse it.
At the county level, every employee has a 90-day. The only time you can really get fired, unless you just commit some kind of crime when you work for the county, is if you don't survive the 90-day probation period. So the very few I've known to get fired there were there. So we don't really have a set probationary period as a district, right?
We
This will be
actually,
the closest thing to it, I guess.
we can terminate within 90 days in certain positions, but that's not related to this.
Right.
So,
The classified union has a 90-day probationary
Okay.
period.
Cool. Thank you. I won't hold us up. I'm sorry.
you're okay. No, it's okay. It's up for discussion.
Hank might have some specifics.
probably come into play would be, you hire somebody in August, they normally take a vacation every year in July for a week or two.
Mhm.
This gives them 10 months to earn 8.3 days. They could take a week off in July, and then otherwise it would end up being an unpaid day, even though they've accrued all those days up to that point. And then they get a, so
Is
it
that-
just kind of makes it
Right.
so the days they've already been accruing, like anybody who starts new starts accruing days, they just don't show up or they can't use them for that first year. This makes it so they can use those as they accrue.
Which really actually helps us because, you know, it's summertime right now. As you can see, I have a lot of people are on vacation today. But it gives people the opportunity who might have an anniversary date of November who would not be able to use their dates until after November to maybe take a summer vacation with their family, which helps us, I mean, in the long run, so.
Okay.
And that was all I had for discussion. It's no vote tonight. It'll go back on next month.
Any other questions? Alrighty, moving on to our committee reports. Mr. Henry, looks like you're prepping for something over there. What you got for us?
I'm so positive about the Miami Valley Career Technical Center. The superintendent provided the school board members there. It's on. You couldn't hear me? I'll speak louder. I'm so positive on the Miami Valley Career Technical Center and the things that they do for our students. I'm doing this from memory. I believe the school year just ended with 58 West Carrollton High School students present there. It's a junior and a senior grade level schooling event. just to recap what, comes across through my mind, I went to a presentation by the Heavy Equipment Operators Program, very impressive. They asked me to operate some of the equipment, and I said no. The Army asked me to do that for 10 years. I'm not doing it again. I got a chuckle and went on. I've seen some of the other programs in action, if you will. The aircraft mechanical repair is kind of a two-phase thing. Should some part of the aircraft be damaged physically, they're trained to repair it back to the standard to meet the federal government. Again, a 2-year program. There's also a mechanical side of that, working on the aircraft engines. And in all of these cases that I've cited, when those students finish their senior year at the Career Technical Center, they already have jobs. Whether it's for the summer because they're going on to a additional training at either a junior college or a 4-year university in that field or another field, they're gone. They have a place in life, and they're so excited about it. I went to an adult student graduation. There were, from memory, 51 students at the end of April that got their GED. They had left a traditional high school environment for whatever reason. Might have been a young lady that had children at home that needed her attention, and she was able to catch up with that successfully. Each of these students came on stage to receive their diploma from the superintendent, and it was like, everyone knows everyone. There's 1,200 full-time students there at CTC. They were so happy to have accomplished that task that would allow them to go further with their education. And that's what's important. I also got to tour the agricultural area. Yeah, they have animals there. And there's students that receive an income. I'm sure it's not big money. But just to get to Clayton, Ohio from somewhere else in the 5 counties that are served by that facility, 27 school districts, costs something. So these students have transportation possibly provided by their parents. Maybe it's a shared expense. But those young people that come out there, like today, I think it was only 84 degrees, but the sun was out, and all you have to do is stand still, and it's hot, even with the breeze blowing. There's a lot of reconstruction of buildings at the CTC. At the end of 2003, it will all be complete for the students that are there at this time. But they have cows, they have goats, they have little ones, they have big ones, and they need to eat. There's some maintenance there to their facilities and cleaning and so forth. And that is very impressive to me. This is my 8th year on this school board, my first year on the CTC school board, and I've been out there many times in my 8 years. And it just always fascinates me that there's a group of students that want to be there, and they are so disappointed that they can't get into the program for cosmetology and culinary arts. There's a couple that are very popular, but they only take maybe 25 students per year, school year. And you can't wait a year. You know, you want to graduate from high school and move on. But it's very impressive. Each of the instructors I've talked to speak very highly about their students. They want to encourage them to do their best and to be able to succeed in whatever the next step in their education or training might be, wherever it might be. They're not so narrow focused that it has to be a vocational type event, because some of those students do go into other programs. For example, pharmacy. The number of students that are going to Ohio Northern University, I believe that's Ada, Ohio, in the northwest part of the state, is phenomenal. And they're through in less than 4 years, and they've got their degree, and they're in the workforce. So those are good examples. I talk too much, but call me Tom Wolf if you like. And by the way, Tom's 80th birthday was last week. And those of us that gathered for that really enjoyed seeing him out and about in enjoying life. He had family from all over the country attend a birthday party. And that was good. You know, it was fun. The grandkids that came from Colorado, the grandkids that came from Michigan, the grandkids that came from Texas. You know, it was a big party. And then his friends in the area. And for you new folks to us, Tom, I'm going to say full-time, left us full-time after
105 years.
Yeah. Actually, it's 42.
It's 42.
Yeah, 42 years on the West Carrollton Board of Education, plus the time as a full-time counselor at the middle school, plus the same 42 years at the Miami Valley Career Technical Center. And, you know, good luck to Tom. I see him every couple of days or talk to him on the phone. He's healthy. He's wise. He's got that darn red convertible. And we went to Lebanon, Ohio Sunday, and he wanted to have the top down. I said, Tom, come on. Drive the convertible when you're alone, or somebody that doesn't mind air blowing in their one ear and out the other, you know what I mean? Well, he decided to leave the top up, and I said thank you. But we enjoyed the day with some friends. And there you go. I'm done. That's outside of the fact that Leslie might talk a little bit more about the school construction, where we are with the present 2 buildings and where we're going slowly forward in the design phase and the construction phase of the 2-4 building and the 712 campus. Put you on the spot, didn't it?
That's fine.
Thank you.
We we heard from everyone, gave us the update, and everything is going as scheduled. Things are getting finished up. I don't believe, has the elevators been, I know at the pre-K 1 have been inspected and cleared and are good, but the 5-6 building, is it scheduled?
Yeah, we're still waiting on the inspection to happen, but yeah, we're good to go. We're just, as soon
Okay.
as the state inspectors come in, we're good to go.
So we're all good with that, and Joe and I just recently were in the pre-K 1, and it looks just fabulous.
It's a stunning building.
Yes.
I can't wait to see can't wait to see our 5-6 building.
The kids will all be coming back very soon, so this will be a great thing, and then we'll move on to the next phase, which is building the rest of the buildings. So that'll be coming up.
Okay, anybody else with committee? Nope. All right, moving on to comments from our superintendent.
Just to reiterate what Janine said tonight, the OFCC did approve our part 2 of our building, so we have all of that information, and we will be having our owner kickoff meeting very shortly. It'll go to the controlling board August 1st, but I've been in constant contact with the OFCC. Summer school is over for our little people, but it is winding down for our high school kids this week, and I'm sure they'll be happy to have a few weeks off before school starts. And then just to also reiterate about National Night Out, that is a fun event to go to. This year West Carrollton is not having National Night Out, so we really wanted to promote Moraines. We do have a table there. We always attend all 3 events when they have them. But Moraine does so much for our kids. They get school supplies and clothes and do shopping, and they're just fabulous, and had a ton of businesses that came in to support National Night Out, which supports our kids. So always nice to see, and very excited to start step 2 of the building, and I'd like to welcome all our new folks. I'm so happy you're here.
Okay. Comments from our treasurer.
Just want to echo that, to say welcome to all four new administrators. I've got to work a little bit with Mr. Lampley, and he's hit the ground running, and he's done a great job helping us with some internet glitches. So really fortunate that he's here, and he's going to do a great job for us.
So your family knows you're staying after to fix this one, right? Just giving you a hard time. It's all right. All right. We have nothing from the West Carrollton Education Association, nothing from the classifieds. Central office, looks like Mr. Haig is the one and only.
I'll go first.
Yeah.
Welcome to everybody for administrators. It's great. I had a chance to work with Tom a little bit, so enjoyable on that part, and I've been very impressed with his work ethic and his stick-to-itiveness to get everything done so far. National Night Out in Moraine, been there.
It's good. It's a good time.
The water slide, Tommy Watts sets it up there on top of the levee coming down. It was worth it to take advantage of that. Restful.
It's a little bit faster than the sledding in the snow. Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. Yes. And soap. Baby oil and soap. Oh, with both. The bubbles were there last year.
Very enjoyable time here for our bond committee back in the day. We showed up for that to talk to the folks, and that was a great time. A lot of snow cones and popcorn and stuff.
Last year was the cops versus the kids water balloon fight.
It'll be back.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I got to watch that part. I don't run anymore, so I was not getting involved in that. All right. So you're last, so we're done with that part. Good deal. All right. General comments from the public. There are none tonight. Board members, let's start with Mr. Llewellyn tonight.
Well, I'll be brief. Certainly want to welcome our administrators. Thank you for applying and then being chosen. I appreciate you being here. We look forward to working with you guys and meeting you. And again, congratulations on being chosen, and welcome to West Carrollton. The only other thing I'll say is when I got here tonight, it brought back memories of Memorial Hall from a few years ago. Oh, gosh. But the difference is at least it's gotten a little cooler in here. It sure didn't that night. That's all I got.
It was so hot.
Thanks for the memories.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm up. All right.
Ms. Miller.
Welcome to Pirate Country, all the administrators. You will enjoy it here, I promise. We're a great group here, and we love working with our kids and our community. So, again, welcome. I would be remiss, and Mr. Wolf would be upset with me if I didn't remind everyone that tax day is on Friday. So I'll let everybody know, and thank you again for supporting the schools all these years. And you are seeing the fruits of your labor with the bond, with the 2 new schools opening, and the other 3, 2.5, will be built very soon. So, fall sports. If you have an interest in fall sports, please get your physicals done early. Sign up on final forms and get the ball running so that your coaches are not clamoring around trying to get everybody ready to go. So that's all I had. I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Henry, you're up next, sir.
Nah, I said too much. I'm good. I would ask what the potential, I know there's some what ifs, potential of our next meeting site to be.
So I can actually answer that. We do not have the technology for the new meeting room. However, we do have AC, so if anybody doesn't mind not having technology, we can have it in the new building. I don't mind.
So is that Todd's fault?
No, it's ordered. It's a supply chain issue. It is not Todd's fault. So we have some items on back order. But if you want to, we can have it there, and we can do our notes. So it's up to you. Just let me know. I'm happy. I am more than happy to be in the air conditioning.
I do like that Dr. Woods is taking great pleasure in us giving you a hard time. So, I mean, that smile she's got every time somebody points you out is, yeah. All right. That it, sir?
That's
All right. Mr. Mundy.
All right, well, I definitely want to start off by hoping that the students are really enjoying their summer. I mean, it's always a good time to kind of enjoy your summer and relax until, school starts right back up. So I wanted to start off with that. I also wanted to thank you guys, thank the administrators, the new administrators for coming and joining us. We are excited to have you guys be a part of our team. And I'm excited for what you guys can do for our kids, especially. So I want to thank you guys for that. And then while I'm on the thing for thanking, I want to thank our state reps and Tom Young and all of them for helping with, again, our schools and our package in. I mean, that's a lot of work on their end. So, decent amount of work on their end. So for them to have us kind of be pushed forward this amount is fantastic for us and our kids. And especially for our community, it's gonna be great to see that come through. And on city, I went to city council yesterday, and they mentioned that the overpass or the underpass on Alex Road there, the whatever that is on 75, the underpass, they're planning on trying to fix that and do something different there to make it safer. I mean, there's not enough lights there and stuff. And I remember when I was a student, I used to walk under that underpass multiple times, because I used to walk to school pretty often. So it's nice that they're able to, hopefully get that fixed and create some safety. And I even heard that they might even paint it West Carrollton colors. So, yeah, that sounds like a winner to me. I like that. So hopefully they'll have that in. And then on top of that, get out and vote. August 2nd is our next election. Not really many people know about it, nor do they care. But, if you're a voter, you might as well go out and vote. And then Aristotle said, do good, be good. Simple quote to end it off. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
I had one more question. For those of us that do observe Facebook, did you see Mirage Antani out on the field with all those students and college students as coaches for soccer. Talk about an array of colorful jerseys. When it came off of my printer, it kind of fuzzed out a little bit because there was so much to focus on. But our local state senator, Mr. Antoni, has been very supportive of our young people and our students of all ages. When you see him, thank him.
I also had one more small little thing.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Glover, I just wanted to thank him for all of his hard work and service for us, and I'm going to miss him dearly. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
All righty. Last but not least, welcome new pirates. Just remember, homecoming, you dress up as a pirate for the parade to represent. Just kidding.
I just got that email today.
Did you? See? So I'm not kidding. Patches, bandanas, all the good stuff. Homecoming is sooner than you think. The planning starts pretty fast. So welcome to Pirate Country. Our new schools, Ms. Miller and myself had an opportunity to kind of walk into the ECC building. What a fantastic new building. It's gorgeous on the outside, but the inside is just amazing. I can't wait to get to be able to see the rest of it and then get over to our 5 and 6 building. The demolition happened quick. We got to watch a few minutes while we were in the meeting with Dr. Townsend and Mr. Sloan, how fast they're grading that property up and getting the parking lots and all that stuff getting ready to go in. It's amazing how fast it has happened. I just hope that our second phase of this all goes as smooth and goes as quick. And in regards to that, we still have pallets of bricks, right? Yes, we do. So those who still wish to have a brick or so from either of the two buildings that came down, the ECC and Holiday, those pallets are on the corner of the parking lot, Mr. Yes. Haig? Those pallets are on the corner of the parking lot?
They'd be lined up with where the front door of CF Holiday used to be and where the front door of ECC used to be. Oh, really? So, yeah, right out in front on the parking lot.
Just understand they won't be there too much longer because they're going to be dozing the rest of that out and getting it graded in. So if you do want those bricks, please take the opportunity to get them. I know there was a lot of folks who were looking for them.
Can I add something?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
So just at the ECC, and I'm not sure if this happened at the 5-6, but if you signed up on the list, I know, Mrs. Sheeman, she'll even bring them to your house. She actually pulled enough bricks inside the building to hold if you signed up. So I've been getting some emails and some phone calls. Why haven't you called us? Well, our phones haven't worked all the time. So we do have extra bricks inside at the ECC.
And once again, I'll just echo the same thing. The phones have been on and off. I've received a couple phone calls this week about people not answering the phones at our buildings. We apologize for the inconvenience, but it is some growing pains of getting into our new buildings and getting the technology switched over. So please be patient. If you can email those folks, then email them. They are available. There is somebody there. You can stop by those buildings. Our secretaries are there, and then of course our admins are at central office. So please get all your paperwork in and see those folks. And if you've got some emergency paperwork to get in quickly, we do have secretaries at those buildings. All right, that's all I've got tonight. That's all we've got. This concludes our meeting. Our next meeting is August 3rd, 2022, and there will be no official business. This concludes our meeting.
Motion.
I need a motion and a second to get us in. Sorry,
Second.
real quick. I'm a little hot. I'm ready to go home.
Mr. Cox?
Yes.
Mr. Henry?
Yes.
Mr. Llewellyn?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Mundy?
Yes.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good